Welcome to this session. I'm Uncle Borroy, and developer from Kingsoft and also proud member of the Order of the Bee. In this video, we are going to talk about the new architecture from Alfresco. In fact, we are going to make a sample use case for an ADF development. But we are also starting with that new Docker and cloud approach of Alfresco. As you know, the next release of Alfresco, the Alfresco 6, is going to be very much different from now, and we need to start to learn all these new techniques just to be an expert when the product comes. So let's start with this new approach that is deploying Alfresco by using Docker Compose, and Kubernetes. We are going to use our template. Our Alfresco Docker template is a Docker Compose template, you see. But in the future, Alfresco is going to produce these templates. So it will be more or less the same. But for now, we are just using a template produced by Kingsoft. So let's start cloning this repository, this Docker profile. Okay, and now we are going to pick last version, which is 5.2 or so, and okay, we are going to start with we are going to open Docker also, and we are going to start this Docker Compose. As you see, this is going to deploy all the different services. So Alfresco, the DB, Solar, and so on. So we need a repository just to develop our ADF application. So we are going to use this repository that is available at localhost, and we are going to develop, but by using default Alfresco deployment mode for the Alfresco 6 in the future. So what are we going to do now in this session? We are going to pick a component from the ADF component catalog, and we are going to include this component into an Alfresco ADF application. Alfresco is providing this Alfresco content app, which is a reference application just to show which are the powers of this new platform. And we are going to use this application and to include one component from the standard ADF component catalog. So let's start also with this repository. We are cloning the application. Okay, you need just to have a Node.js and npm. Alfresco is not using Yarn yet, but probably they are moving to Yarn in the future. So we are going to build all the different dependencies in our project, and Alfresco is started, is now available. So when we just have all the project built, we are going to be able to run the Alfresco content application just using the repository. So all is fine. So we can start the application, and we are going to see, like in the, I think this is port 3000 or port 4200. Port 3000, okay. On that port, we are going to be able to access the application, and this application is really using that localhost 8080 Alfresco repository. So let's see if all is going fine, and we are going to review this this reference application, this use case application for Alfresco ADF. Okay, all is fine. So the application is now up and ready. Okay, let's log in the application. You see that it's a very simple application with reduced options. If you compare with SER, this is going to be the replacement of SER in the future, but nowadays it's just a simple use case, a simple playground, but it's evolving faster. So this is going to be in the future, in the near future. This is going to be the production ready tool that we need. So just start including a file. This file is going to be used during our demonstration just to test the different features. We can make a preview and different actions on the file. So we are going just to add an action to this menu. We are going to add a version manager component, just to click on this action and just to see all the different versions on the file. So this favorite copy, move, delete menu is I'm going to add a version action, right? This is the action I'm going to pick. This is on the ADF component catalog. So let's start and see how this can be done. So the first of all is to identify on the source code where is this component. So let's start by I'm using Visual Studio Code for this, but you can use IntelliJ WebStorm or Sublime or any other editor you like. So I'm going to open the project. That's Alfresco content application, and now I'm going to look for the page for the application, the components and the files, and this is the view we are looking for, right? We have this menu that is including a favorite, copy, move, and delete. So we are going to add a new button. This is the same as we have this point. Okay, favorite, copy, move, delete. And we are going to add a new button. This new button is going to be called a version. And okay, we need a selector for the button. We are going to use app version node, which is going to receive a document list selection. We need also an icon for this button. They are using material icons. So I think that the right one for this is the history one. Okay, let's find it. Okay, that one. I think that is the right one. So let's use that history icon. And finally, we have a message. We have the label, which is internationalized or so. So we are going to use that ID by the moment, and later we are going to add the resource. Okay, we have now the new button created, and you see that we need to declare our directive just to attend this selector event. So we are going to take this directive as template, and we are going to call node version directive, right? Our node version directive, okay, let's keep it simple. It's a directive which is attending this selector, this app version node, and okay, and let's go into show a simple alert just at this point, just only to test that all is working fine. So let's the constructor for later, as we are going to need, but we don't need all the rest, right? Okay, so we have now the this part, just to include the button on the page. We have also that directive, which is listening, just to show an alert when the button is clicked. And we are going to we need also to include that in the with the other directives. Okay, so we need to import this new directive. Okay, this node version directive that we just declare in this directory. Okay, it's fine. And we are going also to add our new directive. Okay. So with these changes, we are going to be able just to see the button. You see that the application has been reloaded to apply all these new changes. And if we now click the menu, we have this new button. And if we click the button, we have this this alert from JavaScript. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go and make that this is that this working in the way we were expecting. So we are going to pop up a form, to pop up a window when we click this button, and we need to inject our version manager component inside this form. So let's go to the component source code, and we see like we have the component to show the contents and also the template. So let's start taking this this component and going back again to our source code. We are going to create a new folder to include this new view, this new template. Is version manager component. So let's create this one. Okay, we don't need the selector in this case. We don't need also this. Okay, it's fine. And we are going also to create the view, the template of this component. Okay, let's create the view file. Okay, so in this view, we are expecting to have a node and a node ID just to render all these components. So we need this to inform, to set this node. So in order to move the value to this node is where we are going to build all the form, all the Angular form. But as we made before with our directive, we are going also to import our component, right? So we are going to make this component visible for the application. So let's import a new component, which is called a version manager component. Okay, components, version, and version manager component. So we need things. So we need to declare this new component, and in this case we also need to create an entry component. Okay. So we have both entries, and now version component is available. What we need to do, what we need to do now is just to create the dialog in this this component. So let's start by adding this standard material dialog, and let's create a constructor on the class, just to build the form dialog data, and now we need to associate that dialog with our version manager component, right? So I think that we need to assign this this entry. We are going to if you remember, in our we have a selection, and selection, the first element of the selection is an object. That inside this object we have this this entry, which is that minimal node entity that is required by this component. So I'm just coding this at this point, and also I can create the close behavior. Okay, so this containing dialog close. Okay, so we are ready. We need also our inject import. Okay, we are done, and we need to move the entry from this point to this one, right? So we need also to work with a dialog at this point. Let's import that formulary, and we are going to create that dialog in the constructor. So we have the dialog, private probably, right? Fine. And now we can open our component with this data, right? So as you see, I'm mapping this data with the first entry that I'm receiving at this point. So this data is the one expected by this component, right? It's this one. So we are ready. We now, when we click on this menu, we are going to open that dialog. We are going to pass the first selected node to the version manager component, and this version manager component is going to show the dialog, right? So let's go back to the application. Let's see if it's working now. So when I click, I can see this form, and is showing this information. If I upload a new version, even, I can see that that version is working. You see? Okay. So last thing we need to do is just to change this literal, and just to follow the internationalization rules. So we have in this assets, in this folder, we have the entity for the English. So in this one we have app actions version. So we are going back to this app actions, and we are going to include that version. label. So again, when we are when the application is refreshed, we are going to have this button with that version label. Okay, so this was all the presentation. We have included the version manager component inside the Alfresco content application by using as environment development and Alfresco Docker composition. So this is the platform of the future, and the future is very near. So you better have to start to play with all these technologies. So thanks for watching, and we see you on the next one.